just jealous of Republicans. Like, you guys are just so loyal, you know? I mean, MAGA is a cult of peaked in high school conspiracy theorists who want tax breaks and a mass deportation of migrants, and they won't abandon Trump no matter what. And you just gotta admire that kind of loyalty.
Hang on. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. As you can see, we're gonna be watching a Piers Morgan debate with two delusional liberals that are gonna justify why they are voting for Donald Trump. So let's get right into this debate here. And of course, guys, make sure you stay to the end because we're gonna get into the comment section, which is absolutely hilarious. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
This is gonna be the greatest period to be a Donald Trump in a presidential race ever, because he just has to keep allowing his opponent to do stupid things and say dumb stuff and look exhausted and lose his train of thought. That's all he has to do.
Right, and I'd also like to make the point, and I know that the liberals on this panel are going to have a collective hemorrhoid when I say it, but even if former President Donald Trump wasn't standing next to a vegetable last Thursday, he still would have performed excellently, and he did. He got his points across. He was able to finesse some of the issues like abortion in a way that I've always been concerned about, but I think he did a great job. So I also want to point that out. But as I've said, I don't think they're going to keep with Joe Biden. I know that all the Democrats say, well, they have to, because of this and that. Logistically, they have to keep with him. You can't keep along with somebody who in the next several months is going to go downhill even more steeply. This is not going to be a linear decline. It is going to accelerate. Anybody who's watched an elderly person decline this way knows it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think that...
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. I see the point that she's trying to make, but the reason that I disagree with that is the Democrats just don't have a better choice. They don't. If you line up any other candidate that they have, whether it be Pete Buttigieg or Kamala or the governor of Michigan or I think it was Ben Shapiro, they don't do better than Trump. They're actually doing worse than how Biden would do, especially Kamala Harris. She's actually less favorable than Joe Biden, so they have to keep Joe Biden. He actually is the only one that has a chance of beating Trump. Is really no chance, but compared to all the other Democrats, nobody else does better. And I mean, they have to keep him, which I'm okay with. I'm 100% okay with, because there's no way that Joe Biden is gonna win. It's hilarious.
There needs to be more of a discussion about just how evil First Lady Jill Biden is, that she is standing by as her husband is going through this. This is truly evil. Why she's not pulling him aside and saying enough's enough just shows that she is so hungry for power, she's willing to embarrass and let her husband embarrass himself that way. Shame on her.
Yeah, Francesca, I got to say, I agree with that. I think I've interviewed Dr. Biden about 10 years ago now, and I've watched him the last couple of days, and I'm seeing somebody who seems even more desperate not to give this up than Joe Biden is. And surely any spouse in that position, forget politics for a moment, who sees their other half humiliated on a global stage like that in the way that it went down, surely the humane thing to do is to persuade that person it's over, isn't it?
Sure, but also Nancy Reagan apparently was running the show for the last few years of that administration, so you never know. Tommy might be right on this. Look, here's the thing. I'm just jealous of Republicans. Like, you guys are just so loyal, you know? I mean, MAGA is a cult of peaked in high school conspiracy theorists who want tax breaks and a mass deportation of migrants, and they won't abandon Trump no matter what. And you just gotta admire that kind of loyalty.
Hang on. Do you know?
All right, now before they get into that, because they're going to talk about Obama and his deportation status, this is absolutely hilarious. Did you just hear what she just said? Let's go back. Let's just go back a couple of seconds here and listen to the nonsense that I'm going to point out. So she's going to talk about how loyal that we are.
No matter what breaks, and it's a cult of like, you guys are just so loyal, you know? I mean, MAGA is a cult of peaked-in high school conspiracy theorists who want tax breaks and a mass deportation of migrants, and they won't abandon Trump no matter what. And you just gotta admire that kind of loyalty.
Hang on. Do you know who the
Nonsense. So she's talking about our loyalty to Trump, but ignores the delusional loyalty of the left to Joe Biden. See, at least we have reasonings to why we are loyal to Trump in his presidency. Because life was good. The economy was good. The border was more protected than it is now. There were no foreign conflicts. We didn't start any new wars. Crime was not as bad as it is now. So we actually have a reason to be loyal to Donald Trump, and he's mentally sharp. So, but if we were to analyze y'all's loyalty to Joe Biden, it makes no sense. What are you loyal to? His policies were bad. You can't say he's a good human being. He's not a good person. You can't say he's mentally sharp because he's literally not here with us right now. That's an empty suit walking around. So what are you loyal to? What are you loyal to? Y'all are the cultists, because you don't have no reason whatsoever to be a part of this coalition, but you're still a part of it. You don't have no reason to support Joe Biden, but you're still supporting Joe Biden. There's literally no legitimate reason to support Joe Biden. There's nothing that you can say to convince me of it, because I know his policies, they're all bad. I know he's not a good person because I've seen what he said and done in the past and does and say now. And you can't say he's mentally sharp and he's, more focused than Donald Trump, because that's absolutely not true whatsoever. So the delusion is on y'all's side. We're loyal because we know what comes with that loyalty. Y'all are loyal. You don't even know what you're going to get. This is absolutely, absolutely hilarious. These people are clueless, man.
The biggest deporter of migrants was in U.S. presidential history.
Yeah, it was the guy who's not running for president.
Did you know who it was?
It was Barack Obama.
Yes, it was. A Democrat.
Yeah.
3 million.
And I hate the Democratic policy.
3 million migrants he sent packing. He was the deporter in chief. Donald Trump, by comparison to Obama, wasn't even at the races when it came to deportation.
I just wish Democrats had Republican conviction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we have a wet noodle as a candidate, and Republicans are like, yeah, he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll and he tried to overturn an election that he rightfully lost, and he's got 2 impeachments. Well, we love this guy. Let's effing go. And I just wish we had that kind of commitment.
Did you like Bill Clinton as a president?
No, not really. I did not believe in deregulation and like the 94 NAFTA bill.
What did you think of the fact he paid Paula Jones $850,000 to make a sexual harassment case go away? Or what did you think of him having sex with a young... What did you think of having sex with a young intern?
I don't know why you're...
Again,
Piers, look, we all know you want Celebrity Apprentice. We all know that Trump calls you. But how
Actually,
much...
I've had quite a frosty time with Trump in the last year and a half. So I wouldn't...
You see how she tried to disqualify him, right? She's trying to disqualify Pierce's point by saying, oh, you're a Trump loyalist too. You talk to Trump, you're his friend, of course you're going to be on his side. She's just trying to dismiss his argument because she doesn't have any legitimate argument to the point that he made. She's just going to try to discredit Piers as a person. Hilarious. That's the leftist tactic right there.
Overstate our
but he
current
still
relationship.
Calls you. But you always talk about how he calls you. You're like, I'm a liberal. But...
No, but hey, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. Never have been. I ran a left-wing newspaper in Britain for 10 years, right? I would call myself a centrist, actually. I'm a journalist who likes to go after both sides, hold both sides to account. But right now, the problem that the Democrats have is no one cares about Trump. And this is a guy with 91 criminal charges against him, right? But no one's talking about it. They're all talking about whether the guy currently in the White House can even know what day it is. That's the problem.
A lot of people would vote for a corpse over Donald Trump.
You heard that, right? You heard that. In the beginning, she questioned our loyalty to Donald Trump, right? Why are you guys so loyal? But you just said that you will vote for a corpse. This is crazy. These people are nuts. These people are nuts. What are you talking about?
Well, they may have to.
Says more about Donald Trump than it does about Joe Biden. Let's go.
All right. Michael Knowles, apparently people will vote for a corpse over Donald Trump.
But question our loyalty.
They
Hilarious.
will, and please let them do it. Let the partisan Democrats do it. I'm now all in on the Democratic rhetoric. The Democratic primary voters have made their decision. They want Joe Biden as their nominee. It would be an assault on the integrity of this country and on our sacred democracy if they replace him now. I can't wait to see him in all 50 states. You know, at this point, obviously, the man is not up to the job. So someone else is running the country, whether that's Jill, whether it's Ron Klain, whether it's, I don't know, whether it's Barack Obama.
Do you know what's really
behind,
interesting, Michael?
You know,
This is really interesting to me, this panel, because if we'd gone back, 3 months, you'd have all been shouting at each other, arguing about Trump. The two siding to the Democrat side here on the panel, you've been neutered by what's happened. I can feel that the luster has gone. The enthusiasm to beat up conservatives has just flown out of your bodies. I mean, there's not been one argument. You've all just sat there going, we agree, he sucks. Your own guy sucks. He's barely alive. You've lost your fight, haven't you? Biden has removed the fight from Democrats.
I love it.
That's what I'm seeing here.
Absolutely. Actually, I agree with that.
You agree?
I totally disagree. No, if Donald Trump is taking insane, again, the Supreme Court ruling today is unbelievable. The idea that instead on today's show, we're going to focus on whether or not Biden had a bad debate performance is just reflective of the I don't want to say agenda in a negative way, but of what you want to talk about today on this program. Like, I think that the decisions that are being made right now legislatively in the Supreme Court are more important, or that are being made in the Supreme Court
You
are
know
more
why
important
that's happening?
than whether or not Biden has a bad.
You know why it's happening? Because Trump was able to put 3 judges on the court in one term.
Then you know why else it's happening? Because the Biden administration in their political persecution using Jack Smith and the special counsel and all that is that reasoning alone. I mean, this is unprecedented. So of course the Supreme Court is going to step in and also make decisions on behalf of what's going on in the current state of the country. So this was exacerbated by the Democrats, by the Biden administration. That's the reason the Supreme Court had to step in. It wasn't Donald Trump all of a sudden asking them to give him immunity just for the heck of it. No, this is part of the case that's happening over there in D.C. or Jack Smith.
Why that was? Because you put up a terrible candidate, Hillary Clinton. It was incredibly polarizing, very arrogant, very superior, and she got flatlined by Trump when no one saw it coming on the Democrat side.
We
Secondly,
also lost one.
some of your Democrat judges who should have known better decided they weren't going to resign. They weren't going to retire. And because of that, Trump was able to pack that court. So I'm afraid you reap what you sow. Just very bad politics by the Democrats.
One of those Supreme Court justices were literally lost by McConnell just robbing a president of the right to seat a judge. Nobody remembers that Garland was supposed to be on the Supreme Court for almost a full year. McConnell said, we're not going to have that hearing. That is indefensible.
Let me bring in Michael in.
Oh my God.
Tommy has to leave in a moment. So Michael, come to you, then come back to Tommy for a final wrap from her. But Michael.
Destiny, the principle that you're articulating that a president should be able to put a judge on the court in an election year, or rather that you say Mitch McConnell violated, was a rule first articulated by Joe Biden in the 90s when he was trying to kill George Bush's judges. So obviously there was a decision today that said that the president has some immunity for criminal acts or acts committed in his official capacity as president. And this is based on a 40-year precedent. It really goes all the way back to the Marshall Court. Really nothing should be surprising about this. And yes, the Democrats are upset. They're
not true. This is
just
based
let me
on
finish
precedent.
1 second, Destiny. They're inveighing because they say we should be talking about the immunity case. Well, but part of the articulation, I just was reading the decision, was that, look, this is the first time that you've got a president who's being prosecuted in this way. And that's the problem, because the vast majority of Americans, right, left, and center, have been saying in survey after survey that they view the prosecutions of Trump as primarily politically motivated. They view this as kind of corrupt. And that's one of the reasons why Biden's poll numbers have been so bad for so long. And so they throw this Hail Mary to do a debate in June before either party has settled on a nominee, and it completely blew up in their face. And so no wonder people want to talk about it. You've got a political order that is fraying. You got a guy trying to put his opponent into an orange jumpsuit, and it turns out the guy who's trying to do that, it has applesauce for brains. No wonder people are concerned.
The American people, a bit like the British, I think would be the same in this position. They can smell a political hit job. And the fact that the first case that was used against Trump to try and convict him and put him in prison involved a payoff to a porn star 20 years ago for a supposed one-night stand, or whether it happened or not, that just smelt to them like a massive overreach. Whether he did it or not, they didn't care. As though the idea that the first American president in history to ever be convicted of a crime in a criminal court is convicted over something so pathetic and trivial. The American people, the right-minded, reasonable people who are not in the kind of mad tribal ends of their parties, all went, well, that's ridiculous, and actually demeaning to the country. Tommy, I know you got to go. So final thoughts from you before we let you go, and then we'll carry on with the with Francesca as the rose between two thorns afterwards. But Tommy, your summary of where we are with this. What do you think is going to happen?
Yes.
Give me a roadmap to the election day.
Listen, I think they got to replace Joe. I don't know if it happens at the convention. I don't know if it happens after the convention. If they use that mechanism and the DNC has to get together and pull some strings, I would remind folks that don't think it can be done. Let's remember that the Democrats were able to overhaul our election system due to COVID in 2020 in a matter of months and nationalize mass mail-in voting. So I never underestimate a Democrat, though I will say, in sitting with this panel today, it's easy to see how sad the Democrats are, the liberals are. It's easy to watch them crumble because their candidate quite literally is crumbling before our very eyes. It's a great day to be a Republican. It's not a great day to be a liberal, but I hope you guys stick with Joe, and best of luck to you.
Tommy Lahren, always great to have you.
I love it. I freaking love it, and they deserve every single ounce of it. Your delusion got you here. Republicans and conservatives have been saying that Joe Biden is not effective. Joe Biden is not mentally here. For months, y'all called it cheap, fake, conspiracy theorists. Y'all are ageist and ableist and all that. But now you see the writing on the wall and you have nothing to say. And then question our loyalty to Donald Trump, calling it delusion, where you have leftists literally saying they're going to vote for Joe Biden even if he's a corpse, getting walked out, wheeled out. Hilarious. Hilarious people are delusional. But let's get into the comment section. So first comment says, Francesca just said MAGA is so loyal. Man, this is hilarious. This is what I was just talking about. Francesca just said MAGA is so loyal to Trump. In the next few minutes, she said she would vote for a corpse over Trump. This partisanship is too blind and ridiculous. 5,000 likes. 100% correct. These people are delusional. Delusional. Clueless. She says, man, Pelosi has aged a lot too. Time for all of them to retire. Next comment says, quote, raped by their sisters is classic. Next comment says, they hide the fact that someone else is running the country and now they pay the price. Next comment says, Newsom destroyed California, our most beautiful state. And that's who they want to become president or replace Joe Biden. Hilarious. They just keep getting more progressive. Next comment says, let's not forget Pelosi's call for the 25th Amendment for Trump after he caught COVID. Next comment says, when Nancy was talking about Trump, I thought she was talking about Biden. Next comment says, why isn't anybody talking about gas prices? Because we get numb to it. So $4 a gallon seems normal, question mark. That should be right at the top of everything. Next comment says, no, not Francesca again. An absolute embarrassment to liberals. Next comment says, how blind is it to stump for a president who obviously has dementia for the most important position in our government, possibly the world? Absolutely hilarious. This comment says, it's never, here's why you should vote for Biden. It's always, quote, here's why you should vote against Trump. If Trump is so bad, why is it so difficult for the Democrats to find a better candidate? That last line right there is perfect. If Trump is so bad as y'all claim to be, he's just so horrible, just the worst of the worst. That means it should be easy to replace him. If he's so bad, it should be so easy to find somebody better, but you can't because there's not. This comment says, I can't stand this Francesca girl. She always claims falsehoods as facts. I have seen her on this show 3 times, and she did it every single time. That's 100% correct. So we've already done 2 videos with Francesca in here on my channel, and she's always been the same. She's always been this way, just delusional, claiming falsehoods as to be truth, and then when she gets corrected on it, she has nothing to say. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let's talk about it in the comment section, and like the video, guys. Tremendously helps the channel out. And of course, if you want more content, subscribe to the channel. See you guys on the next one. Peace.